We got players reporting today, and I want to get a Legends perspective on all that. We go to the BCS Eye Associates hotline. Ty Warren joining the show. What's up, Ty? I don't know if I heard you. You there, Ty?
Yeah.
There you are.
Yeah.
What's up, man?
Doing pretty good, man. How about yourself?
Doing wonderful. So excited to talk to you. I know we met a couple of months back, and I know we crossed paths before that, but I guess officially as a Texas capacity. Let's just talk about how things are going here with yourself. What's going on in your world? I know you've been real busy.
Yeah, probably not as busy as I've been in the past, purposely. Really just, just here, just raising the family, me, the wife, got girls, got one there at A&M and one that's a little less than a year out from heading out to Purdue for volleyball, and got an up and coming little student athlete, Bailey, and she's playing volleyball now. And they got a little 11-year-old. She's starting to play now too. And then outside of that, man, I just continue to try to evolve and educate myself. I getting ready to enter the master's program there at A&M, and in the process of that, and also MBA program, the data analytics and everything. So just trying to sharpen iron and be prepared for, a future opportunity to possibly lead either a room or a program or organization. It might not necessarily even be coaching, maybe more along the lines of like player development or something like that as well. So, that's something that my time in Detroit taught me. Just much. It was a rush and a thrill to be around our area, doing business and creating business and opportunities and things of that nature. I just love to be around the game, at all costs, and so I want to be a part of that thread in some capacity. But before I do that, I just want to sharpen iron and evolve and kind of catch up to the times and be prepared for the opportunity that's ahead. So outside of that, my wife's she's finishing up school there at U of H. She'll be done in less than a year, and she's working hard and proud of her. And it's not. It hadn't been official, but it is official. But I am gonna, be working with Dr. John Thornton over with the coaching academy as well. So I'm looking forward to that. Talking to him about that more, and when it become official, I'll let you know. But just trying to not sit on my blessings, be the best version of myself that I can be, and find that balance in between family and aspirations and evolving, like I just mentioned.
So I think that's fascinating too, because you could just rest right on your success in the past and just raise your kids, but you are finding a way to keep your mind sharp and take your business future in a different direction.
Yeah, man. I mean, what they say about idle mind, and I'm not cut from that cloth. I mean, it don't matter how good or bad things are. I mean, I'm always going to challenge myself in a positive way. So. That's what I'm doing. I'm aware that things are changing. I think the whole COVID era has really forced everyone in this world to accelerate how they operate. And I think it's brought on some creative ideas on how to do things, some creative systems on how to do things, and I think it's that accelerated a lot, So it just makes sense to catch up with the times. I mentioned the whole data analytics things. I mean, you can't talk about anything these days involving business or sports or what have you without talking about analytics. And so it's such a big part of what happens out here, just in everyday life, and it's universal. So. I'm excited about it, man.
One more business question, because you brought up analytics there. I think we're in interesting times, especially in sports, where there are some teams and organizations that rely so heavily on the analytics, but really there needs to be, in my opinion, and please weigh in on it, a little bit of the balance, right? The eyeball test slash the analytics, using that information as a tool as opposed to the only way you go.
Yeah, I mean, I think, in my opinion, because I'm still like a hard copy, old school type of guy, I believe, the eye test is a big part of evaluation. I think the analytics, it tips you off on different tendencies and different things of that nature. I mean, for example, I'm, during my time with the Lions, we would get these reports from the analytics department. That was shared, say, like for an offensive lineman, how many times they had their hand on the ground and on what down they had their hand on the ground and that type of stuff. And that might have helped, a player on how they approach their pass rush, or, knowing, the difference and distinguishing the difference between running pass based on the tendencies that were given through analytics. So, there's a use for it. And then when it comes to this overall evaluation and just the eyeball test and sitting down and look at somebody in the eyeballs and understanding, who they are and what makes them tick as a person, I think nothing can really replace that. I mean, that human element is, it's necessary.
All right, so using the eyeball test based on what we saw in 2020 and what we expect for 2021, your thoughts on the Aggies here starting today and getting at least moving into camp, and what the 2021 outlook will be?
Man, I think it's exciting. From where I sit and just watching and seeing just the progression that our program has been on. It definitely has been on the ascent. Honestly, I mean, I think it goes obviously. Fisher, he deserves. Coach Fisher deserves his just due. I think minus the schedules and the win and loss column and stuff like that, I think that involvement, starts back a few coaches from Fisher, going back to Sherman and the O linemen and that he put together, regardless of the win losses. I think he put together string of O linemen that gave Aggies and made Aggies relevant on the O line back in the day, and then so he had his time in terms of bringing that talent, the Von Millers and stuff like that of the world, who's still relevant names in Aggie sports. And then you got Sumlin comes along and kind of bring a little spice to it and a little a little hype and brings us Johnny. He delivers us Johnny, and and that kind of plays a role into his era. And then Fisher's kind of come and he's knocking out of the park with recruiting, the pizzazz, the substance, everything. And so he's kind of bundled all those things up in once, man, in one basket. And man, he's really, he's really putting it out there. It's really been a progressive deal that's got our Aggies on the ascent.
So, Ty, I'll be very honest with you. My kids don't know much about the Texas and Texas A&M rivalry because they're all young. But you played in that rivalry. I don't know how much your family is aware of it and how much it means. Just for you, the fact that these two institutions are going to be playing again. Obviously, the Aggies, I think, are on a different trajectory than Texas.
Yeah. No, I mean it's that's notable. That's a fact that we're on a different pathway than Texas, and the recent news has highlighted that. In terms of my family and what they know about the Aggie and the TU rivalry, they know as much as they know as much as I tell them or we talk about it. I mean, obviously I got a daughter that's at A&M. They're not, playing UT, but even in her recruiting process, UT was the first one to offer her a scholarship, for softball when she was like in 8th grade, and I wasn't against it, but I also let her know that the history there. I kind of probed and poked at her a little bit about that and kind of educated her on that a little bit. But So, I say all that to say this, that's probably like, especially like our oldest, their most recent, understanding about what that rivalry means. She felt that during the recruiting process. Well, we talked about that and to kind of talk through all those things. But yeah, there's no doubt that A&M is standing head and shoulders above UT at the present moment, and look to has put the pieces in place, and and everything in place to stay there. If everything permitting.
How's Bree enjoying her time at A&M?
Oh man, she loving it. She loving it, man. It was an unusual year, just like it was for every other freshman. Who came to campus. No fish camp, no, not really being able to, bask in all the different traditions that A&M provides, and so it was unusual from that standpoint. In-person learning, having to do that virtual and trying to adjust to that, and timelines and due dates and all that different stuff is just just that whole evolvement of those times. Man, it was just awkward for her, and as I talk to her, every other freshman that's close to her, and I imagine for the whole freshman class across the whole United States, I imagine it was a little different, but took some adjusting to get used to.
Tom, I'm going to ask you a little bit about Bill Belichick, but I'm going to tell you a story that my only encounter with him, and see if you have any funny stories with Bill. So I believe you played with Vrabel. Am I correct on that?
I did, yeah.
Yeah. So Vrabel was an up-and-coming defensive coordinator with the Texans. It was the Texans were playing them in the playoffs. Brock Osweiler was the quarterback to kind of date you, tell you where that was. I guess it was 2016. We're in New England for the week. We're going to their practices. Texans are getting ready, and I go to a press conference, and I was tasked with asking Belichick about Vrabel. And, wait my turn, ask the question. And I said, hey, very easy TV question, like simple. And I said, your thoughts on the growth of Mike Vrabel? I probably phrased it even worse than that. And he gave me the stink eye, wondering, who the hell is this guy in my press conference? And he and I have video of it, so I put it on my Twitter years ago, and it's still there. And he just gives me this look, and he goes, he's doing great. And that was it. That was the end of it. Like, he had no time for me. He knows everybody who's in his press conference. He's accounts for everyone. Any funny stories with you and Coach Belichick?
Yeah, I mean, it's a bunch of them. Good, bad, and indifferent. But yeah, I think that's funny. I think like when Vrabel was at the Texans, and he was kind of making a name for himself down there. First of all, Vrabel is a very, very smart player. Probably one of his best tangibles, and he's an overachiever because he wasn't blessed with the God-given ability of speed of Von Miller, and strength of freaking what's the number 92 guy from
Vince Wilfork?
No, the little short, the 92, is lifting all the crazy weight. I can't even think of his name, but he wasn't blessed with all the different tools that a lot of guys are gifted with. But he brought an attitude, he brought a nasty, and he was very smart on the field. Some of my best years playing was next to him, because we would study things and call things out before they happen. And some of the funner times were with him, on the side of him, as he provided some great laughs and stuff like that. One funny story with Bill. I think it was a training camp, because everybody asked me, like, oh, how is he? And this, that, and the other. And I was like, well, he got a personality. He is a funny guy. He just, I guess he just operates under a code or a system where he just try to not let the veil get pierced. You know what I mean? So he just very protective of the organization, his information, and all that good stuff, which, you can respect that. One training camp, he came in, and my family went home to Texas for like 2 weeks or whatever, because, when training camp started, I mean, you don't see your family, you don't see none of that stuff. And I'm one of them guys. I probably sleeping at the at the facility or whatever, just to gain that extra hour of sleep, going into the next day. And so it's kind of getting towards the end of camp, and Bill's coming down the stairs, getting ready to address the team in front of the auditorium, and I went out of my way, kind of on my personal time, and kind of made like this banner, for the wife and kids, like, "Hey, welcome home, miss you," this, that, and the other, um, and just in need of some love and some other things, And so Bill comes down the steps, and I tug his shirt tail, and I'm a guy. I don't really say nothing unless it's something to be said. So I think it kind of surprised him when I tugged the shirt tail, and I said, "Bill, I need to talk to you." And he's like, "Oh, what's up, Ty?" Kind of in that that facial expression. So he leans over, and I said, "Hey, Bill." I said, my family, I said, I've been, my family's coming to town, and, I hadn't seen them. They went home for a couple of weeks. And I know we got curfew tonight at 11 o'clock, but they fly in at this certain time. And I don't want to break curfew. I said, but I want to go see my family. And so I'm asking you, I'm letting you know that, I'd like to go do that. And need you to make way for that to happen without me getting fined and stuff like that. And so he looked at me, he said, I said, "Yeah, I hadn't seen my wife in a long time like that." and so he kind of looked at me, he was like, "All right, I'll let the person know that's checking the room and stuff like that." So, I mean,
great.
Those are stories that you don't hear, because, you hear all the stories where you have to like come down on people, but, it's just a communication deal with him. And I wasn't the guy he really worried about sneaking out or doing nothing crazy, but, that happened. And it's a story that I'll share from time to time to kind of let people know kind of who he is as a person as well. I mean, he is human, although he operates like a machine.
Yeah. Hey, and Dalton reminded me, it is James Harrison that we were thinking about. The name.
James, that's what I'm thinking about. Yep.
Hey, Ty, I appreciate you, man. Hope to see you around these games and get you back on the show soon.
All right. Sounds good, man.
Thank you very much. Ty Warren here.